everybody. Welcome to this week's episode of Late Night Craft Talk. We're a couple minutes late. I was working out a few details tonight, but we're here. Svea currently is at NSU Pow Wow. She's right over there. ASU Pals, my apologies. Those of you that NSU fans and ASU fans are about to probably tar me. Anyways, this is a live feed recorded about a couple hours ago for our countdown screen. This is where Svea is at. She is part of the committee. She has been for a very long time. And this is a view a little bit after grand entry just a little while ago. So we're here. It's me flying solo tonight. And I'm going to be just joined by a co-host that okay, folks. What in the world? Okay. Bear with me right now. My computer just crashed. So we're going to go back to the countdown. Hi, everybody. Bear with. It's been a little of a problem lately. My computer's been crashing. I'm going to have to get a new desktop, but everything just went haywire. So we're having a little gremlins right now. Let me get back to the get back to the countdown. Appreciate you holding on and watching. There's some gremlins right now. So let's get to the countdown. Back to where we were at. Okay. We should be good. Hi, how you doing? Okay, back to the countdown. Everybody let me know if you hear me okay. My computer suddenly crashed, which was weird, but I appreciate your patience with that. We have quite a few people watching tonight. We are seeing an almost live feed of ASU Pow Wow, where Svea is at right now. I'm flying solo. Tonight's show is going to be a little different. I'm going to be relaying some experiences. We're going to be kind of talking about the college student, James, tonight. And our subject tonight is going to be NotebookLM and how it can be used in everyday life, education and whatnot, productivity. And I've actually lined up a whole bunch of infographics and stuff on fry bread tonight to kind of cater our own audience tonight to show that. So that's what's going on. So just to say hi, it looks like we got some new viewers tonight. Hello to Indian Fan 2121. And hello to you dude 233. And of course, from our biggest fan right there, hiya, James. No worries, it happens. Sorry, it's WrestleMania and the collective weekend, but I'm still watching Late Night Craft Talk. Okay, thank you, Maya. All right, sharing is caring, folks. I'm doing that part right now. Hopefully, if the computer crashes tonight, if it does it again, we're gonna have to kill it. Do this another time. It's been screwy. Whenever Coachella Music Festival happens here, where I live in Indio, things get screwy. Our internet slows down. Everything slows down. So we're going to hopefully everything's going to be going okay tonight. from here on out. But we had some technical problems last week, and obviously we're getting hit early. Hopefully that's the only thing. But otherwise, everything's good. So we've got 3 minutes until the show starts. And again, we're talking about NotebookLM, and we're going to have a little different cold start just to kind of give you everybody a primer. There's an infographic, NotebookLM. You can feed certain information. It'll create information, what you tell as its sources. And I created an infographic talking about late night craft talk. And it's going to talk about 5 reasons you should watch the show. Little rough right now. And so 5 ways to watch a show. And it's really interesting enough that, like I said, I'm going to use that cold open before our official opening credits as a kind of a primer for tonight's subject. To answer some of your questions right now, we have from Jamie Turd. You see what POW is this? This is ASU Pow. Earlier this evening, you're looking at the intertribal session, just a little while after the grand entry. This is over at Arizona State University. And this is where Svea is at, the co-host with Dancing Bear Indian Trader. She's in charge of vendors, and it is her that is doing the live feed for the POW. And of course, Maya says, my mouse is messing up tonight. What the heck? I think Skynet and Terminators on my computer right now. Hello, Carol Ann Blackwood. So I'm playing switchboard operator right now. And Marcus is laughing with that. Okay. So, yeah. Thank you, Jamie. It is nice. It's good to show where Svea is at and what they're doing. This is one of those features shared by Dancing Bear. All right. I'm going to do sharing is caring because we got a minute and a half till the show. So I'm doing our part, folks. Hopefully you're sharing with everybody else to show the fun tonight. And to do my thing. Let's see if I can walk and chew bubble gum at the same time. Or share a show. Even my phone's acting slow. So what happens with these. So what happens when you have Coachella Music Festival. Things just get screwy. Matter of fact, I was out earlier this evening. I had to do some shopping, and the people that couldn't afford the tickets were out there and hanging out and asking for rides and going, "Do you have a ticket?" Seriously. I had somebody asking, 2 people asking in the parking lot of a grocery store near my house, "Do you have a ticket? I came for Coachella. Can I get a ride to Coachella?" I'm like, no. Those people spend thousands of dollars. Okay. We are 42 seconds from the start of the show tonight, folks. Get ready. Hopefully my computer doesn't crash again. If it does, bear with it. We'll have to call it for tonight. If it decides to go crash on me again. And we are just a few seconds away from countdown. And I've just officially shared the show. Get ready to count down with me. Here we go starting with, and my phone's acting weird again. All right, let's go. 10, 9, 8. Remember, we got a primer come for the show, created by Why You Should Watch the Show from NotebookLM. 3, 2, 1. It's only been a minute and a half. We'll get the credits going.
Welcome to The Explainer. We're diving into one of the most wonderfully chaotic shows on the internet.
It's a weird question, right? Well, they're all just normal topics on the live YouTube show, Late Night Craft Talk.
So what makes this show so special? Let's get into the 5 funniest reasons people can't get enough.
All right, reason number 1, it's pure, unscripted, live chaos. You never know what's going to happen.
Right from the jump, the hosts, C and James, just totally embrace that anything goes vibe.
And this is from an actual episode. A casino walkthrough, sirens. You just can't make this stuff up.
Okay, on to reason number 2. Brace yourselves for the world-class, non-stop dad jokes.
They deliver them with such serious commitment, you have to groan, but you also have to laugh.
Just when you think it's safe, nope, they hit you with another one. It never stops. And that perfectly sums up their humor. It's relentless, it's cheesy, and somehow it's just so charming.
Now for reason 3, and this might just be the most legendary moment in the show's history.
This really happened.
So, for a double birthday celebration, one host decided to, put on a very special performance. Live. And yes, this literally happened. A kilt, an indoor bike ride, it's a perfect example of their whole vibe.
So you're probably wondering, what about the craft part? Well, that brings us to reason 4.
Yeah, the title is more of a gentle suggestion. The real show is in the wild, unexpected tangents.
Nailed this.
And finally, reason number 5, it's not just a show, it's a real, living, breathing community.
Seriously, the audience is a huge part of the show. They have their own inside
NotebookLM
jokes and
nailed this,
actually
too.
drive the conversation.
They've even established their own leadership roles. It's a community that's in on the joke every single step.
So what's the takeaway? In a world of super polished content, this show's authenticity is its superpower.
Honestly, the only way to really get it is to jump in and experience it. And that's our explainer.
It's time for Late Night Craft Talk with hosts Svea and James Hermes. On this week's show, how you can use NotebookLM by Google. Why did the AI go to the restaurant? To get a bite to eat. It's time to start the show. Hello, everybody. Welcome to this week's episode of Late Night Craft Talk. I'm James Hermes from Elk Rack Traders. Flying solo tonight, which means we can misbehave because Svea's not looking over her shoulder going, no, no, no. And here we are. Okay. I'm still overrushed because the computer was acting funny and I'm trying to get stuff going. And usually Svea runs some stuff. I run some other stuff. But luckily, things seem to be somewhat on track. So I'm kind of going to play three roles tonight. So work with me on this one. Okay. For those of you who are watching our show for the first time, Late Night Craft Talk, and now the internet's slowing down. Hold on. What the heck just happened? Oh, wow. Okay. Work with it. I can tell it's kind of lagging right now. We're going to go with it. Hopefully things are kind of smooth. I've got a remote viewer right here to make sure things are going okay, but let's go with it. Again, if it crashes, we're going to have to move the show to another night. Things are kind of screwy. Wow. Okay. We're going to go with it. Okay. Let's start business. Late Night Craft Talk is a show that's put on collaboratively by Dancing Bear Indian Trader and Elk Rack Traders. We started the show back in April 2020. Matter of fact, wow, this week, right now, this show tonight is our 6th anniversary. 6 years we've been doing this. Pretty amazing. And the system is lagging. Folks, let me know if the sound's coming through okay, if I need to do a little quick fix. Anyway, this is nuts. Thank you, Coachella Music Festival. Anyway, so we've been doing the show, and we started to feature artists and topics that are interesting for everybody to go over, and our show's evolved over 6 years. This week is 6 years, and it's come over to the time that we just have a fun Friday. We have a fun visiting everybody on Friday night. Okay, and we do subjects. We do everything from talking about tourist destinations. We've interviewed tribal officials. We've interviewed native artists, flute makers, flute players, drummers, everyone to environmental activists, to people that tell you how to invest. We cover any subject because you may be working on your crafts late at night. This is something we can talk about. That's what we do. All right, let's get started with a little bit of business. We do have a POW schedule, a calendar of the show, what POWs are going on and rodeo events the next few weeks. Let me get that squared away right quick. We'll get onto our subject. And my computer's really lagging. Wow. Okay, we're going to go with it. Okay. This is so weird. Okay, there we go. Every week, StreamYard, the service we use, does updates, and the layout changes almost weekly right now. And they have an AI that decides your layout. And so what happens one week, I've got to go in early on Friday and start clicking down to make sure that the layout's the same and I know where to click stuff. And it's updated again, literally from between 8:30 when I did a dress rehearsal, and now. It's just bonkers. Okay. Coming up with our POW schedule, we have this weekend, starting tomorrow and Sunday, is the Carmel Band of Rumson Indians Community Gathering and Pow Wow. This should be over Pomona. They do a neat job. I've actually been arena director for POW back in the late 2000 teens for about 4 times. And they do a really good job. And Dean Webster is the head man. MC is Michael Raphael. And always a good one in Southern California to see him around is the host drum is Bear Springs Singers. So that's going on. That should be in Pomona. Oh, they moved over to Arcadia. Okay. It is over Arcadia right now at Arcadia County Park. Check it out starting tomorrow and through Sunday. That's this weekend. Also coming up, we have the Southern California Indigenous Culture and Art Festival. tomorrow over at Grape Day Park. So that's going on. That's two great things this weekend. Also, remember ASU Pow Wow too. If you live over in Arizona around Phoenix, go check it out. It is a great powwow. Also coming up is the California Native Gathering, UC Berkeley, at the Memorial Glade on April 25th. So that is next Saturday next weekend, from 3 to 9 p.m. And coming up also, not just powwows we cover, rodeos. Lakeside Rodeo coming up Thursday night, Friday night, Saturday night, and Sunday afternoon next weekend down at Lakeside, California, near San Diego. Elk Rack Traders will be there. This will, let's see if we can do the math right quick. We've been showing at this rodeo since 1997, excluding the we'll include 2020 with the pandemic. This will be year 26, 27, 28, 29. This is year 29, 28, whatever it is. We've been there a long time, and we will be there again. We've been gearing up. I've been working hard getting artwork ready for it. So look for us, Elk Rack Traders, at Lakeside Rodeo next weekend. If you live in San Diego County or around, you want to go check out a great rodeo, this is the biggest and best in San Diego County. Also coming up, the 51st annual Koopa Days at Koopa Cultural Center at Paula Indian Reservation. This is our longest running show for Elk Rack Traders. We have been showing at Koopa Days since 1995 or 6, 1995. So we've been there a long time. Again, coming up Saturday and Sunday, May 2nd and 3rd, just the weekend after Lakeside Rodeo. Come check it out. This is a really neat show because it's a gathering. It's not a powwow, but there's a lot of bird singing. There's bird singers that come out from different reservations. Also, one of the neat things about this is, and I'm going to talk about that. Let me get this off for a second. One of the neat things about Koopa Cultural Days, we've actually featured their MC on our show back in 2022 or 2021. I think it was 2022. They do a lot of exhibitions. They'll actually have bear dancers coming out from the local Costa Mesa Rumstone Carmel tribe. They will have peon games going on from like 8 o'clock at night till I've seen them going till like 9 o'clock on Sunday morning. They're going all night. They'll have a hoop dancer there. Terry Goodell should be there. He's been going there a long time, and he's coming out with his sons too. The chip off the old block with his son and the hoop dancing. They have a number. They also have probably one of my personal favorite is the Yaqui deer dancers out of Tucson, near a reservation near Tucson. There's just something magical about that. Anyway, we got a couple viewer comments. Hello, Wendy, you're late. Carol Ann is probably not pleased. Carol Ann, please let us know your judgment. And Carol Ann says, cups. Okay. Koopa. Koopa, yes. That's how Koopa is actually spelled. Awesome job. All right, see if we need to get up. Carolyn says, I'm going to Koopa. We will see you there. Awesome. I'll be in the same spot right by the main gate, right off Koopa, Paula Temecula Road right there. Okay. Looks like we got everything going on. We've caught up with the audience comments so far. All right. Back, we've got a couple more events to show, one or two actually. We have coming up also is Stanford Pow Wow. Dancing Bear Indian Trader will be at Stanford Powwow coming up May 8th and 10th. So look for them there. Hopefully Svea can make it to that one. She does have a trade show in Chicago with tulip beads that she has to be doing. But I know that either way, Dancing Bear Indian Trader will be at Stanford Powwow coming up. So we'll have that. It is the rodeo and powwow season, mainly powwow season in Southern California, is cranking. There's stuff going on all up and down the state, as well as, ASU Pow this weekend near Phoenix and Arizona. There's stuff going all over. It's all these spring gatherings going on. It is high time. It is a lot of fun to go out and explore in the Native community. All right. So we got that little bit of business done. You always like to know that I have my snacks. Kind of off topic before we get to the show tonight, where you're running right on schedule before we start talking about NotebookLM. I like my cheese snacks. But I went out about 9 o'clock, so about an hour ago, because I heard about something with the local Stater Brothers, and I had to go check it out. I'm going to get out of the grocery shop bag. This is real. Now, I saw these and went, I got to try these and share this with the crowd. This is going to be real interesting. Folks, this is the entrance of taste science. We'll call it taste science. All right. Carol Ann says, hi, Wendy. I discovered 3 flavors of M&Ms I do not know exist. Let me know if you've ever heard of these. Now, you're used to seeing the dark chocolate, the peanut butter, maybe the caramel M&Ms, the milk chocolate M&Ms. My personal favorite has always been the dark chocolate. I love dark chocolate. But I have seen these flavors. We're going to explore 3 new flavors. And I'm looking at a comment. We got another troll tonight. We're not going to give them any space. Okay. Out of these 3 flavors of M&Ms, tell me if you've ever heard of this. Cherry chocolate cupcake. Lemon meringue pie. This is real. This is not AI. This is not a joke or something we made up. And the other one, peanut butter cinnamon roll. Folks, have you ever heard of these flavors before? Okay, couple things. We have Carol Ann saying, hi, Wendy. Welcome, Wendy. And then Vicky Hermes says, hi, Wendy. Am I a switchboard operator or show host or both? Okay. In the interest of taste science, because I like to consider myself a man of science fiction, we're going to try, first of all, the cinnamon roll. Our fancy opening scissors. Let's see what this tastes like. These are only a couple bucks at the Stater Brothers. Okay. Here they are. Different colors. Cinnamon roll. Taste the peanut butter. There's like a little aftertaste that is like a cinnamon roll. How do they fit a cinnamon roll in these little suckers? Yes, it does take like a cinnamon roll. And Wendy says, hi, Vicky. But written in shorthand. Okay. In science, experiment number 2. The lemon meringue pie M&Ms. Let's try this out. Matter of fact, those of you that were probably curious, do you want to get a second opinion on the cherry chocolate cupcake taste to see if it really does? Because that's got to be a tricky one to do. We can bring on we can bring in a second opinion called my mom. All right. Lemon meringue pie. Ooh, that's distinctive. Legit. Vote is on the cinnamon roll. Legit. Okay. Third one. Science. Taste science. I could just rip it open, but if I tried to do that live on the air, the M&Ms would be all over my desk. Okay. Cherry chocolate cupcake. Folks, let me know if you want a second opinion on one of these. We will bring in my mom. All right. Cherry chocolate cupcake. That's also a winner. Vicky Hermes says that the lemon meringue is the boom. I'm sure you probably meant the lemon meringue is the bomb. We're not very good at typing tonight. I think if we're going to blink Coachella Music Festival for that, let's just say it's carrying over. All right, folks. Ooh, Carol Ann, really? Carol Ann says, I tried some more Oreo cookies. It's pretty good. You remember a few weeks ago, I brought on the Marble Doom cookies with Dr. Doom on the cover of Oreos. It was quite chocolatey and fudgy. Lots of fudge. That was pretty good. Yeah, Oreos does some crazy good flavors, but I've never seen with Oreos before. Okay. Comment from Wendy about that. They show you how the cinnamon roll fits in the M&M and Charlie in the Chocolate Factory. Very true. I'm still not going to try the blueberry one because, well, my shirt's blue, but no. All right. Another comment we have. Maya says, cherry chocolate cupcake sounds so good. It's good. If you find these, go ahead and do it. Check it out tonight, but after the show. I don't know if you can see them at Walmart. And then Carol Ann also says, I tried the lemon meringue M&Ms and I like them. Me too. Has anybody ever tried the cinnamon roll, the peanut butter cinnamon roll? That's probably the major question. Matter of fact, I know that our taste tester has tried the cherry chocolate cupcake and the lemon meringue. But I think we need to get a second opinion because it's going to be new to her, is the cinnamon roll. Official taste tester, called my mom. Why don't you come in the office right quick? All right. So with that, we try these. I want to put these to the side because I will keep on munching these, and they're not as fattening. Well, they're a lot more fattening than this. And it's usually my snack on night. All right. We'll wait for our taste tester because there's a 12-second delay. She's probably seen this, which means she'll probably be in the next couple of minutes. So we'll backtrack to that part. All right. On to the subject of the show, NotebookLM. Those of you that don't know what NotebookLM is, quick little thing here. AI will go search through sources through the internet and grab them and piece together an answer for you. It's very good at objective things. You ask the question subjectively. Here's our taste tester. Okay. You have to leave the phone outside or it'll echo. All right, folks. Welcome back to the show. Crazy Cat, a person that plays Crazy Cat Lady, many other roles. Where'd you go? Okay, she's living the part. Yeah, he's the wrong one to pick up. She tried to pick up a cat. Welcome to the show. In the interest of science, taste science, let's see what she thinks of. Welcome to the show, my mom. The cinnamon roll.
That one I have not tasted yet.
Okay. Are you ready for the entrance of science?
Yes.
Not that many.
I don't need that big much.
This is why I use scissors to cut it open and not rip it open because a bunch of them spilled.
First of all, they come in 3 different colors. Well, no, 4 different colors. So they'll have like gold colored.
Survey says a little bit of aftertaste, but if you try it a second time, you definitely taste more of the cinnamon roll.
That's the peanut butter. Now the tan one.
It's a little bit of an aftertaste, but it kind of catches up with you, the cinnamon roll.
That has a cinnamon roll flavor to it.
Mm-hmm.
It's not bad. I still like lemon meringue best.
As a thank you for coming out to the show, here's some lemon meringue. If I cannot spill them. You see the comments going over there? Crazy Kelly Jill Miller, love Crazy Cat Lady, and good thing I ride a bike when it comes to being coordination.
Yes.
Okay. Hello, Kelly Jill. Welcome to the show. Good thing you ride a bike. Love Crazy Cat Lady. Except when her cats get really ticked that she picks them up like she tried to.
Well, he's usually fine, but he didn't want to be picked up.
Not this time.
He wanted a kitty snack.
You want a kitty snack. All right. We good?
Good night.
Good night, everybody. Thank you to my mom for coming out there and
I have to go pet kitties.
art imitates life or life imitates art on that one. I don't know.
There you go.
Okay. I won't say how long it takes you to empty letter boxes every morning.
Only 4.
Only 4. Well, stray cats. Speeds. Okay.
Be doing it while I'm gone for a week.
Yeah, we'll get on to that. All right. I'm going to hire somebody to litter box. She's going to be gone for a few days. All right, back to the subject. NotebookLM. AI will collect sources. What's unique about NotebookLM, and think of it as a notebook with notes and sources that you put in there. What's unique about it, and it's a service offered by Google, is that only site uses the sources that you tell it to come up with an answer. One of the things AI is known for is sometimes it creates facts. It gets a little strange. It gets some things wrong. AIs will always get things wrong just like people do. But to keep it more on the focus of just the material you are researching, and for student, for schoolwork, even a lot of job employment stuff scenarios, it is amazing. Okay, I'm going to share a screen. And I'm going to show you a work project, about 3 or 4 projects that I created with Notebook to show you what it's capable of and how it'll blow you away. I have been working on, and just a little background while I share this, I've been working on let's see here, system audio, screen 1, screen 2, there we go. I've been working on a big research project for my research methodology class. The teacher is tough, but you'll learn a lot. And I met with him last weekend, and I will give you a little background from there. I use Notebook quite a lot for the research project I'm doing, which is, I'm going to use big fancy words, sound smart here, a quantitative and then a qualitative. You should be able to infer what those are. Studies. This is one of those things where you have to have like an introduction, an abstract, a discussion, all this stuff. And I use NotebookLM a lot. So to give you an idea, I'm going to give you a peek at how it works for a student. And this is a real thing. Let's see, let's make sure I got the right one. Transformational, April 12th, April 11th. That's the one I want. Okay. This is, okay, 11th. I'm looking because there's a couple of them. This is my project. It's doing called the transformative power of a bicycle. I'm using it based off a TED Talks video filmed like 8 years ago. And to give you an idea, when I talk about the sources, it'll read only the sources you put into it. On the left over here, you follow the mouse. It says, I have to Google Docs, which is their own version of Microsoft Word. Hermes Bicycle YT. I have the report. And let's see. This is a copy of the report in Google Docs. And I've got an abstract. There's some other instructions in there listed. I've got stuff on, it's basically still very much draft form. And that's what I cite as a source. Also in the source is the video itself from YouTube. You can post videos, and this will summarize them for you, as well as some Microsoft's version is called Sheets, which is a version of Excel that has all these data points about who the top 100 comments I had to analyze to see what people's stories are and what kind of narrative they have and whatnot to the reports. So I have all that, plus some instructions in a PDF on research projects, on how the ways to do research. I included some class material. This is the sources that it has. Now, what was unique in this, and this is really how interesting it is when it can take the sources and infer some things and give you instructions. Last Saturday, I was on the phone with the professor, Saturday last weekend, and he says, record this so that you have a copy. So I give you suggestions and some instructions you need to do for your research paper. And I went, okay. So I recorded. It was about an 18-minute recording of him give me instructions on what needs to be done. Now, from that, I should have to play that back and then write down what he wants and what he wants in there and his suggestions and go through it. That's a lot of recording time, 18 minutes. So one of the sources in NotebookLM is, and it's right here at the top, call recording wireless caller. That is the MP3 file, our actual recording, and I put that as one of the sources. And one of the things I asked Notebook was to give me summarize the instructions that he has on the paper. And this is what I told it. I wrote it down on the research paper, Hermes YT, which is the name of the doc file. It put out it showed the research paper that I showed you on there. And then it had little annotations next to it and instructions that says, on this section, he said to do this. On this section, he said to do that. And when I came up to the paper where it has a little annotation, like a little number next to a paragraph, it popped up with a printed transcript of that conversation with that part that he specifically said to do. I was blown away. And let's see if we can show that right quick. So I'm going to bring up Hermes Bicycle YT, the doc file, and we're going to show some of those annotations, and this is what it's capable of to summarize that. All the AI. It took about 5 minutes to process the whole conversation. It was kind of long. Remember, it's an 18-minute conversation or 18-minute recording. But this is what it came up with. And I don't know if you can see the printing or whatnot, but this is my actual paper. If we go through some of the annotations on here, the annotations are not there. It's binomial test. Yes, it's sending all smarty smart and stuff like that. Okay, it's not reproducing the annotations like it did earlier. But I would hold next to a little note like this and would do a pop-up window that said that part. Is that not trick? So as far as the research, its value for research and combining those notes was pretty amazing. In the center window right here is actually some stuff I asked to do to help give me a draft and kind of give me a narrative of where to go with the report. Now, over here where it says studio on the right, there's options for an audio overview, slide deck, video overview, and mind map, flashcards, quiz. And in here, it actually has, I asked it to come up with a audio overview. Now, and this is going to get real interesting when I bring up fry bread. It gives the option of a deep dive, a short, long, or medium, like 7-8 minutes discussion, or a brief that gives you an overview of the document, or critique, which is exactly what it sounds like. The critique is actually, it's surprisingly how much it can infer and go over the AI over this. And the critique is actually kind of sounds like a debate, or a critique of two people might be doing this. And it sounds like a legit conversation. And then the debate. It looks at two viewpoints of the report. This could be good or this could be bad. And it will actually have a debate amongst two people, a male and female, about the report. It is something neat. And to give you an idea, I actually have, we're going to play a little bit of a recording of the research of that. So let's actually listen to this a little bit. We're going to keep it very, very brief. Okay, we can't hear it. Is it playing? All right. Okay. We're not getting any sound, so we'll deal with that. Anyway, so that's amongst the stuff. So if you're looking for a critique on it, the AI will take those sources, know what kind of report it is, recognize it, and then give you pointers. This is invaluable for students. Folks, in all seriousness, between that and Gemini, using this for the sources, this was my tutor for learning algebra last summer, or last semester back in the fall. And it worked well. Because for one, other tutors I probably put in mental hospitals and gave them problems where they have big doctor bills because they got very frustrated with me. Historically, this has happened. AI, well, it hasn't lost its temper yet, but probably only a matter of time with me. But this was my tutor, seriously. Now, let's go in a different format. We've seen how we can use this for students. How I can bring these sources, give you drafts, give you pointers. You can actually have interactive conversations with it, with the chat. But if we go over and we're going to look at a different subject, we're going to look at like how you can use this for learning for yourself. We've seen it for educational purposes, for school, and then stuff for your own research, just because you might be curious about history or whatnot. And they're going to look and see how you can actually use this in everyday life. So we're at a good time right now. Maya says, I want to try them all. Maya, you can. This is free. This is free service from Google. You have a Google account, type in NotebookLM. You'll see the link. Go over there. There's lots of tutorials on how to open it. I said tutorial. I use fancy words. But anyway, this is something anybody with internet access and a Google account can use this. All right. I like free. Otherwise, spending money sets off what I call my fiduciary anaphylaxis. That's fancy talk for I have a allergy of spending money. I like free. Okay. let's go back to NotebookLM. So you can see I've used it quite a bit. Just kind of messing with it on there. Introduction hypothesis testing. I did use this in my statistics class. And the features, it got some major updates last August and just last month. Some major interactive features on NotebookLM that has made it that much more powerful and useful. And these are really recent. All right. I've talked about just playing with it over the week for the show. We looked at my work project. And I'm still floored on how it took the recording, was able to summarize it and put it in the proper placement for a report. That's slick. But we're going to take a look at, we got a bunch of medical stuff in here. Of course it is. All right. For you history nerds, this is cool. Okay. I put in a little background here. The Treaty of New Echota. And I'm going to zoom in so you can read that writing a bit. The Treaty of New Echota. This is, I'm a history nerd. This is the treaty signed by members of the Western Band of Cherokee that led to the Great Removal. The tribe, the United States government negotiated with people it recognizes the tribal leadership, not the elected proper tribal leadership of the Cherokee Nation. And this is the treaty that was signed that eventually led to the Trail of Tears. Now, all I did was put in, and this is this is what the treaty looks like. If I scroll, let's see if I get this bigger. Okay. This is what it scanned. All this handwriting. This is the actual scanned images of the actual signed treaty. It's really long. And for those of you younger people, yes, that's cursive. That's not a foreign language. Your parents know it. You should probably too. Okay, now I'm done doing the finger wag, old man finger wag. One thing, it kind of does some chills up my spine, and I'm not going with politics. It's all about history. At the very top of it is signed by Andrew Jackson. Folks, pardon me when I just put it out there. Burn in hell, Andrew Jackson. Okay, now that that's out of the way, that's the text it's scanned. From that, and this can work for video games, this can work for a lot of other stuff. It's amazing what it does for recipes, which will be our next subject. Okay, we have the Treaty of New Echota. We see what it looks like. It summarizes it for you. This is in all its only source is the actual printed, actual copy in cursive of the actual treaty, and it gives an overview saying, the provided historical document outlined the Treaty of New Echota, a pivotal agreement established in late 1835 between the United States government and the representatives of the Cherokee Nation. These records detail the forced relinquishment of all Cherokee territories east of the Mississippi River in exchange for a financial compensation and lands in the West. The articles specify the logistics of removal, including provisions, transportation, medical supplies, and establishment of education and orphan funds for the displaced population. It put all that in context. Remember, the actual treaty is its only source. Now, out of that, I created, and I'm going to try to see if I can reestablish. Let me do a little fix right here. I'm going to try to get the sound. Okay, folks. The computer crashed again. We're going to go through this as much as we can. Thank you for sticking around. We're going to go as we can. I'm buying a new desktop after this. I am getting tired of it. This computer's been problematic, but again, also, this does happen during Coachella Music Festival. It's a little frustrating. Thank you for sticking around. Yeah, I'm back. And let me go ahead and restore the session with Google right quick. If it does crash a third time during the show, thank you again. We've only got 23 minutes left. We're going to move on. But as I restore the session and get back to this, bear with me that let me go ahead and finish a little business that we normally do for the end of the show. Since I will be at Lakeside Rodeo next weekend, and I'll be getting ready and on the road for Koopa Cultural Days the following weekend, plus Svea's got some stuff going on. Next Friday and the Friday after, we will have replays of our favorite episodes of Late Night Craft Talk. So, but we will be back probably the 9th. Svea will be at Stanford, so I'll have a show with a guest host there. But the week after, when I've got to be out of town, Svea's got to be out of town. It's going to be like that fair amount the next couple of months. But we do what we can. I don't know if Svea's going to want to go live herself next weekend with the co-host, but pretty much get ready that we're going to have 2 weeks of replays like that. Okay. Let's go where we started off. All right. Let me do a share screen. If it crashes, we'll go with it. I encourage you to go in with NotebookLM. I did say it is free, and we'll go from there. Explore it, and about all we can do. Okay. So let me get. All right. So starting where we went off with, and hopefully we can make it 22 more minutes. Treaty of New Chota. It gave a audio overview, and we're going to see if we can play that. It's already prepared. It's actually done a video of it, so let's see if we can play a little bit of the video, just a short excerpt. We're going to start over about here, and let's see where it goes.
The legal document openly says, hey, there are two different groups here, and they want two different things. It admits, right up front, that it's not dealing with a single unified party on the other side of the negotiating table. And this lays it all out. On the left, you've got the official delegation. It's led by Principal Chief John Ross, and the document describes them as having full power and authority. Okay? This was the elected government of the Cherokee Nation. But then look at the right. The treaty talks about a certain other delegation, led by guys like John Ridge and Elias Boudinot. And here's the kicker. It identifies them as representing only a portion of the nation, specifically the part that already wanted to move. So the U.S. government knew and wrote down that they were choosing to negotiate with an unauthorized minority faction. So knowing exact.
Okay. You got it. I don't think I could have picked a better place to stop and show that. And by the way, it's actually pronounced Boudinot. It's going to get some names wrong on this one. It is AI generated, doesn't know the nuances of some of these languages. So obviously something's wrong. If you know, your name Boudinot, or that guy, I don't have pretty things to say about you. Okay. So that's what we got for the history nerds. How I can summarize things. And just to show, it actually created a presentation with slides about, and we're going to bring that over here, presentation with slides of how to do that. So just for your own nerdism, history nerdism, it's something. For those of you who are looking at materials for work, it can find these and organize it for you. It's pretty darn amazing what it can do. Now with that, let's show how you can probably use and adapt NotebookLM for everyday life. So we've covered the academic, we've covered the history nerd. Again, you can probably put in sources for your video gaming or some personal research, and it'll do that. But for a lot of you, you probably want to think, how can you use it for recipes? Now, I happen to have over here fry bread. I created this about 7:30 tonight, 7:30, 7 o'clock. And I included in the sources 2 websites dedicated to fry bread recipes right here. And then 4 videos on fry bread recipes. And I did discover something. If we have time, we'll take a look at it. But folks, one of these, and let's say this is a bit of a treasure hunt for you. One of them had, and I'm going to go so check it out, a recipe for sourdough fry bread. Blown, mind blown. Kid you not. I never occurred to me, especially with fry bread, such a commodity food. A recipe on how to do sourdough fry bread. Can you not hear the angels singing? Because I do right now. And no, I didn't forget to take my medication. All right. Sourdough fry bread sounds amazing. It's definitely going to be more amazing than lemon meringue M&Ms. Because you can't do tacos with this. And if you did, it would be weird. Though, why not? All right. You're back. Yes. Okay. Looking to see if we have any other comments. Okay. Back to NotebookLM with fry bread. Sourdough fry bread. Okay. So out of these sources, it gives a description of all the different fry bread, and it's talking about Navajo fry bread, and it's actually got some presentations, and I did these ahead of time. I have not looked at them yet, of an overview, an audio overview of fry bread. And just out of curiosity, if we have time, I'm going to come up with a debate for fry bread, and I'm going to tell it to generate a debate on fry bread for audio. Okay. Fry bread and chemistry of survival, a critique. So let's listen to this real quick.
Placement and relevance of personal anecdotes throughout the cooking demonstrations often dilute the clarity of the core instructional steps rather than reinforcing them.
Yeah, it becomes a distraction.
Right. While personal storytelling can build wonderful
Critique.
these conversational tangents often stall the pacing of the tutorials, forcing the viewer to basically hunt for the actual cooking steps.
Oh, I totally noticed this in the Syndical Scout 2 video.
Yes,
Let's look over here and see.
That dough. He isn't just making a butter swimming pool. He's demonstrating how indigenous people had to manipulate foreign, subpar ingredients just to create something edible.
That completely changes the context. The history becomes the active.
So you see, it's two people critiquing and talking about this. Obviously, they're taking an objective view of the fry bread recipe and doing this. So it is what it is. You can actually give instructions to focus more on certain things before it generates, or as part of the instructions, how it generates the critique. There's a lot of different ways to do this. And let's take a look at, we have the story of fry bread. This is a video it auto-generated. And we're going to take a quick look at this.
There are some foods you've eaten a million times and you just kind of assume you know everything about them.
This is auto-generated from just the sources I gave it.
It's a food you see everywhere, from state fairs to family cookouts. But it holds a story, a really powerful story that most of us have never heard, right? That question from Cowboy Kent Rollins just nails it. We are talking about fry bread. And yeah, it feels like this all-American classic, but its real story is so much deeper.
Let's jump ahead a little bit.
What's now known as the Long Walk.
Look at that. It's talking about the long walk of the Dene, the Navajo.
Navajo and Mescalero Apache people forced to leave their homes and march hundreds of miles to an internment camp. They were completely cut off from their land, from their culture, and from their food. Okay,
that's really interesting because it's talking about the history of what led to fry bread. Because fry bread, as much as a delicacy today, is a commodity food. So it's giving that cultural context of how it was developed.
Yeah, the Navajo taco was born. Someone decided to pile on beans and meats and cheese, and suddenly this survival food became this celebrated main course you could find at festivals all over the country. So that brings us...
Rubber Native community. Okay. So how this can work for you, other than just giving you, like, putting a certain cultural context or whatnot, fry bread. If we go back over, I'm going to take it back to sources. We're going to end the show with a fry bread quiz. I forgot I made that. All right, it's 10:46. Let's keep going. Now, if I go over here and I type, it's got all those recipes for fry bread. I'm going to ask it, what is the, all right, actually, if you put in your recipes, and I'm going to use this example, if you put in your recipes from different websites and say you want to make fry bread, I'm going to ask it to create a shopping list to make fry bread. So this is just based off the ingredients and the instructions it has. You can, with those sources, and you can take and scan in your own recipes. One of the things you can do is ask it to create a shopping list of the stuff you will need to create fry bread. So based off this, let's see what happens. And this keeps you organized. If you want to make something for dinner, say, I need a shopping list. Give me ingredients for this chicken. It'll auto-generate it. So based on the ingredients, the dough, all-purpose flour, baking powder, salt, warm water. That's really not something you need on the shopping list. Yeast, milk, sugar, butter, cornmeal, optional. Cooking oil or lard. So it tells you all the things you need for it. And then if you want to make, it's actually give me a lot more than what I asked for, because I just asked for, again, create a shopping list to make fry bread. It's got the ingredients for the dough. It tells you about the lard, and then it tells you all the stuff you can add for Indian tacos, being powdered sugar, cinnamon, honey or maple syrup, whipped cream, fruit preservatives, or for the Dia taco, that was for just, it was fry bread as a dessert. Meat, beans, fresh produce, dairy, sauces, pantry staples. I got to sneeze. Hold on. I'm fighting the sneeze. Work with me. So it gave us all that information, extra information. So it did create this. It gave you the stuff you need to shop for just by asking if the prompt from the sources I gave it. Now we say, what is a creative recipe for fry bread? We're going to say, tell me a creative recipe. I don't stink at spelling. I stink at typing. Tell me a creative recipe for fry bread. And apparently I misspelled recipe. Okay, let's see what it creates. A creative recipe for fry bread. Crafting a piece of fry bread, synthesizing, and just reading what it says. Okay, based on the sources, a creative approach for fry bread involves starting with traditional Navajo style base and then adapting it to unique toppings and modern techniques. There's the rich fry bread base, gives you the ingredients to mix 3 cups of all-purpose flour, 2 teaspoons of baking powder, 1 teaspoon of salt. That's the basic for fry bread. I've had to make fry bread. One time there was a team I was leading, and we had to make fry bread for 420 people. That's a lot of fry bread. Okay. Tells you the swing butter pool. Mixing dry ingredients with warm water, form a soft elastic dough. Preparation. Frying, creative topping variations. Flavorful beans, whatnot. Artisanal, State fair celebration for dessert style, artisanal sweet. Folks, play with this. I'm gonna keep this open after the show. This is good. Okay. So we've got that for fry bread. To show you some of the other options, it did create a graphic presentation. Let's bring that over, make that big. Bread of survival. So it's created a presentation on the, I'm not even going to try to pronounce that word Navajo right there. A objective examination history of fry bread and all the parts it's made up from. A bit the Navajo history with fry bread. Remember, every tribe's got its own version and tradition with fry bread. Almost every tribe. Switching from foodways, this is a lot of the Dene or Navajo story here. Look at that. This is a presentation you can give to a group if you had one that was so intellectual and academic about fry bread. There's not a lot about academics about fry bread, but you can see where you go, what would happen if you were, or you could become one. Okay. So other sources we have to take a look at from there. Fry bread resilience. There's an infographic that's probably here. Oh, wow, look at that. It's got the mind map, ingredients and preparation. So if you can imagine this with a bit of imagination adapting, you can use this for a lot of your work, vacation planning, if you wanted to go tour some places, other resources, and use this as an assistant. Or ask it, if you don't know what to make about something, you can get creative and ask it questions and have you help with it. The same I'm doing with my school report. It's a big report. It's ongoing. I'll be working on it more tomorrow. So it tells you cultural significance, all this about fry bread. Imagine if we did Babylonian Tupperware, which is not a thing. Okay. I want to back out of this. I'm trying to. Okay, there we go. Okay. So that gives you an idea what you can do at NotebookLM. And we've got 8 minutes left. We're going to take the fry bread quiz together that NotebookLM created. Again, free source. You have a Google account. It's free. Check it out. This is one of the amazing things you can do. And remember, what you can do with NotebookLM. And remember, it differs from like Gemini, ChatGPT, in that they use the whole internet. If you want to keep the focus to just certain things that you know, notes that you've uploaded, because you can upload pictures, YouTube videos, PDF files, Adobe Acrobat PDF files to NotebookLM, and it will look at just those sources. That's where it differs, and you can personalize it. And you've already seen some of the stuff you can make and critique. It's amazing for schoolwork. And it's also amazing for creating a quiz about fry bread. Shall we? All right. Let's do the fry bread quiz, folks. We got over here. We're going to go look at sources, studio, fry bread quiz. Let's take a look. Let me zoom in more. You can read. Okay. Which historical event is directly responsible for the creation of Navajo fry bread? Options are the Trail of Tears, the Long Walk, the Pueblo Revolt, or the Oklahoma Land Run. Oklahoma Land Run, no, that's not Navajo territory. The Trail of Tears is more famous with the Cherokee. The Pueblo Revolt was actually in the late 1600s, was in the 1600s. So the Long Walk that the Navajo had to do over to, and I'm forgetting the specifics of it, there, but very famous. Kit Carson, the Old Mountain Man, it happened in the 1860s. Was part of that, and he didn't like it a bit. So we're going to say the Long Walk. That's right. Okay. Next one. What does the Navajo term for fry bread? But okay, I'm not even attempt to pronounce that. Specifically describe. So we're going to have to guess this one since we didn't go through the material. We just glanced at it. The feeling of a soft, puffy pillow, the round shape of flat dough, the golden brown color of the finished bread, or the bubbling sound of the dough in hot oil. I'm going to say D. D is correct. Hey, I got fry bread instincts. Okay, next question. And there's 10 of them, so we're going to make this quick. Which of the following ingredients was not part of the original government rations provided to the Navajo that led to the creation of fry bread? Lard, salt, cornmeal, or wheat flour? I'm going to go after, it's either going to be cornmeal or wheat flour. I'm going to say, I'm tossed between salt and cornmeal. Folks, if you got a suggestion, let me know. With a 12-second delay. Okay, I'm going to catch it with audience questions after this because there's some really good questions for Kelly Jones and some other people. I'm going to go on a limb and say cornmeal. Ha! Correct. All right. Who is credited with creating the first Navajo taco by serving it at a restaurant in the 1960s? Kit Carson. It ain't going to be Kit Carson. He's an old mountain man. Kent Rollins, Kevin Noble Millard, Lou Shepard. I'm going to go with D. Not quite. Okay. It was Lou Shepard. Navajo Lodge historically credited. Okay. I'm not a fry bread PhD, obviously. Okay. Why is fry bread considered a controversial food in some Native American communities today? That one's easy. One joke I usually like to say is you eat some fry bread, don't get a cholesterol test for at least 6 months. The recipe is very closely guarded secret that causes tribal disputes. That's actually kind of in a certain little way legit. It is linked to health issues like diabetes and colonial displacement. It requires expensive ingredients. Oh, no, hell no. It's a commodity food. Is it difficult to make in large quantities for powwows? No, it's not. It is linked to health issues for diabetes and colonial displacement. Correct. Okay. Only if you go in the context of the Three Sisters agricultural tradition mentioned in the text, which three crops formed the backbone of indigenous diets before colonization? Squash, tobacco, and beans? No. Corn, beans, and squash. Potatoes, beans, and corn. Wheat, rice, and corn. Okay. It's going to be B or C. We're going to say potatoes, yes, but I'm going to go ahead and go with B, even though I think it's C. B is correct. Hoorah. All right. 7. When preparing for fry bread dough, why do some cooks suggest prickling the dough with a fork or making a small hole in the center? That's to help it fry even. I know that. To ensure the bread rises more during the frying process. Preparing fry bread dough. So why do some cooks? Okay, to prevent large bubbles from forming, to allow oil deep inside the flavor, to mark. All right, it's either going to be A or C. I'm going to say C. Nope, it was actually B. Okay, that makes sense. A couple more left to go, folks. According to the university recipe, what is a suitable substitute if a cook does not have oil to mix into the dough? Warm water, extra baking powder, dry milk powder, or melted lard? Melted lard. Correct. That's the original way to do it, was lard. All right, 9 out of 10. What common procedural advice is given regarding the moisture level of fry bread dough during the mixing stage? Seriously? That's a question? What common procedural advice is given regarding the moisture level? Always follow the dough water measurements exactly without adjustment. Add extra oil is the best way to fix a sticky dough. It's best for the dough to be too wet than too dry. No. The dough should be as dry as possible to prevent sticking. I know it's not D, but I'm going to say D. Nope. It is better for the dough to be too wet than too dry. I guess I can see that. All right, last question. Native chefs are currently reshaping fry bread to be healthier by using which of the following methods? Increasing the amount of lard for better texture, baking the dough instead of deep frying it, serving it exclusively with powdered sugar. Oh, heck no. Using refined sugar instead of honey. No, it's going to be B. Yep, B. All right. So that's what we have for the fry bread quiz. We've taken together. I've actually learned something. And hopefully you did too, because we do love our fry bread. But as a going away thing, it is 10:59. I'm going to go back to NotebookLM. We're going to look up sourdough fry bread. The world must know. So with that, let's go back to NotebookLM. Let's bring up the discussion. Come on, get smaller. I will go with it. All right. We're going to type in recipe, and I'm going to spell recipe again, for sourdough fry bread. Let's see what it says. Exploring, crafting the fry bread ingredients, clarifying sourdough ingredients. We got to be trying this. Okay. Provided sources do not contain a specific recipe for sourdough fry bread. All right. You know what? The sources I gave, and this is actually really good. It's looking for the sources I gave it, and it could not find a recipe within the sources I gave it for sourdough fry bread. So it's a great example. It shows that it just sticks with NotebookLM, just sticks with the sources you tell it to. It doesn't reach out. So just for science sake, for taste science, we're going to go to Google, and I'm copy pasting sourdough fry bread recipe. Sourdough fry bread. Amy bakes cakes. Sourdough fry bread. That's legit. There actually is. Amy takes sourdough fry bread. We're going to look at that. Somebody's website's about to get real popular because we're doing the late night craft talk push for the shout out. Sourdough fry bread is a contemporary twist on a dish deeply rooted in Native American culture, originally born from necessity. We know about that. Cherished cultural staple. Sourdough fry bread is crispy on the outside, soft and chewy on the inside, with a slightly tangy flavor that comes from the discard. That is legit sourdough fry bread. Let's get past all this. So, dinner favorite, sweet. Important ingredients, baking powder. Never mind all the pop-ups. Sourdough starter. I knew you're going to need some of that. Substitute active sourdough starter instead of discard if desired. Oil toppings. All right. I'm going to tell this about Svea, but so folks, just so you know where to find this, and you can Google it. There's a couple of other recipes. I'm going to be, let's see, cornmeal. I'm looking at some of the posts. I'm actually posting right here for everybody a link to this website for sourdough fry bread if you want to try this yourself. So if you look at it, I just posted on all the platforms. We streamed to YouTube, Twitch, Facebook. We had a couple different places for Dancing Bear and Elk Rack Traders. So we streamed to 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We streamed like 6 different, 3 platforms and 6 different accounts. We's all over the place. So if you look right there, I have it, the comment, you can click and check it out. I'm going to experiment with this. Count on it. I'm adding it to my notes right here that we're going to have a follow-up, a part 2 tonight, not about NotebookLM, but sourdough fry bread. We're trying this, and we're going to try it on a cooking show. That will be our next cooking show. With that, we're 3 minutes into overtime. That is NotebookLM, an overview of what can be done with it. You saw where I specifically used it for academics, where it's serious, and then just playing around with it. And it's impressive, but again, it gets some stuff wrong. It got Svea's name wrong. And I did a couple things where it got dates wrong on just videos I posted, just stupid things I do, which is a lot, but it's the way it is. So one last piece of business, last piece. Let's catch up with viewer comments. You're back. Sourdough fry bread. Okay. There he goes. Kelly Jo says, cool. Thanks for the info on this. Carol Ann says, sourdough fry bread. I know. I can hear. Can you others hear the angels singing? Or powwow drums? Or both? It's definitely northern style singing. All right. Did the Indians use acorns for fry bread? I can see where it would work, definitely, but the acorns can be used once they're leached and everything. It's not hard to leach acorns. But to make it up fry bread originally like that, I don't know. Probably not would be my guess. My educated guess on that one. Otherwise, you need a type of a cornmeal. They can do that. It works. And Kelly Joseph says that she looked and it said no. They were going to make it fry bread, but yeah. All right. Cornmeal from one of the questions we had with Wendy Hodge. And that seems to be the last of catching up with viewer comments. Okay. Looking over. All right. Folks, that has been this week's episode of Late Night Craft Talk. We talked a little bit of STEM. We talked a bunch about fry bread. It's all comes with the subject. Thank you for watching. Hope you all learned something tonight. Had a little bit of fun. And didn't get too tired of my voice. So I'm going to text a couple of you afterward because I know I'm going to just pick on you because, it's fun. All right. Again, don't know if Svea is going to go live next week with the guest host. But otherwise, we will be having 2 weeks of replays, our favorite episodes. We'll be back. If you're around town or in the area for Stanford Pow Wow, coming up the weekend of May 9th, look for Dancing Bear Indian Trader at Stanford Pow Wow. Otherwise, if you live somewhere in Southern California, you want to check out a good rodeo, Lakeside Rodeo's there next weekend. We will be there. Year 29-ish for us at Lakeside Rodeo. And look for us at Koopa Cultural Days at Paula Reservation, the first full weekend of May. Thanks, folks, for watching. This has been this week's episode of Late Night Craft Talk. And now I've got to find the closing credits. Video file, Craft Talk. I never put it in the right place. Like week after week, I keep on not finding it. Generic close. Okay. Sourdough fry bread. You can take anything away from tonight. You can remember NotebookLM. Sourdough fry bread. And dipping M&Ms.
Aw, ain't he cute?
And Svea would say, "Ew, no, Princess Leia." Let's go through the. Let's do a mock-up of that. Ew, I hate Jar Jar Pickles. No, you don't like pickles at all. He's old. Ew, no, and then I say, "Good night, folks."